Championship, and is approved by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. The Honorable Larry Hazard, Senior Commissioner. The Honorable Jerry Gormley, Chairman. Members of the Control Board include Gary Shaw and Richard Harrison. Our Deputy Commissioner is Lawrence Wallace, and is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation of the World. The Honorable Robert W. Lee, Senior President. The supervisor in charge in attendance at ringside this afternoon is the Honorable Robert W. Lee, Jr. The chief physician in attendance at ringside this evening is Dr. Frank B. Doggett, along with Dr. Charles E. Wilson and Dr. Earl C. Shaw. Our judges, Joe Pasquale, John Stewart, and John Potteret. Our timekeeper de bell is Roosevelt Gilbert. Counting for the knockdown second is the alternate referee, Robert Palmer. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of this scheduled 12-round title bout, referee Frank Cappuccino. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First, in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with the multicolored trim. He weighed in at an even 140 pounds. He has 28 wins, only 1 loss, with 18 knockouts. He is a native of Rochester, New York, and is fighting out of Action Park at Verona Valley, New Jersey, and is ranked number 2 by the IBF. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Charles, the Natural Murray. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the pink trunks with the blue and white trim. He too weighed in at an even 140 pounds. He has 33 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, with 16 knockouts. He is the current Pennsylvania State Junior Lightweight Champion and ranked number 3 by the IBF. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Rockin, Rodney Moore.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. You were both given the rules by the New Jersey Control Board. Both of you protect yourself at all times. Both of you touch gloves, return to your corner. Come on, Rodney!
As you take a look at the tail of the tape of these two fighters, Charles Murray slightly taller and also enjoys a 3-inch advantage. The officials that you see them on your screen, most importantly Frank Cappuccino, the referee, and the IBF rules. In conjunction with the IBF rules that will govern this world title fight. 10-point must system in effect, 3 judges, 3 knockdown not in effect. Can't be saved by the bell. The referee can stop it, and there is a standing 8 count in this fight. We'll talk more about that as the fight goes on. Murray in the white, Moore in the red, as we are underway in round 1, set for 12 for the junior welterweight championship of the world.
I'll tell you, Sam, with this pre-fight discussion about who's going to come into the ring first, both fighters seem very dry. Not an ounce drop of perspiration on either one of their backs. Sometimes not knowing when you're going to go in the ring can put you at a disadvantage in your warming up process.
Moore, you can see he would like to duck in, try to stay inside as much as he can. But Natural Murray would like to stay outside and box, which is his natural tendency.
But Charles Murray's going to try to establish to Rodney Moore that he can't just go in here and walk right through him. He might think he's the stronger fighter, but Charles Murray doesn't agree with that. And Moore is starting right out, working good. Left hook, right hand to the body. Excellent start for Rodney Moore thus far in the fight.
Interesting enough, both of these fighters have lost to Terrence Ali, who was in attendance today. The former #1 contender of the IBF before he vacated to head for a fight for Julio Cesar Chavez. But that was the only loss for Murray, 1 of 7 for Moore. You see that inside, banging away of Moore. Now Murray goes downstairs with a hook to the body of his own.
Impressive start so far for Rodney Moore.
As far as the cheering from the crowd was concerned, it appeared that Murray had packed in a bigger audience coming from the New York area than that of Moore from nearby Philadelphia. But you know, as it ebbs and flows before the afternoon, everybody will be involved.
That's right. Well, the Triple Threat's got a big contingent that they bring for all their fighters. They're very loyal fans, and that's what makes it all work down here.
Two of their fighters include, of course, Ray Mercer, along with Alfred Cole, a world champion of his own right, and now they're trying to get another one here in Murray. Rockin Rodney Moore, promoted by Russell Peltz, and trained by Fred Jenkins, who's been with him since he was an amateur. Good association there. New trainer, Tommy Brooks, for the Natural. This is only the second fight they've worked together.
Tommy Brooks, one of the class young trainers in the business right now. He'll have a lot of world champions before he's done, Sam.
Closing seconds of round one. Probably one of the biggest understatements of the day would say that this crowd will be in it from the very moment that both fighters played the gamemanship role of who was going to be first in the ring till this 9 now. At the end of round one, they are on their feet here at Trump Castle. That's Fred Jenkins right in front of Rodney Moore. Moore, 28. He's been in the professional ranks for 10 years. The way, that is Tommy Brooks just out of your screen to the right with the Natural. There he is, a good shot at Tommy Brooks.
You're pulling straight out. You can see it now and step to the side, okay? He's there for his technique.
And you can hear they're trying to encourage the movement and the motion of the Natural, Charles Murray. As the two fighters get ready to answer the bell for round two, there is a fisticuff going on across the way in the stands, and now Craig Cappuccino is trying to get the boxers to get in the ring, but neither boxer is interested in what's going on there because of what's going on outside the ring, and it's unfortunate. Now they've got themselves focused once again, and the security people had their problems across the way.
In the meantime, Rockin Rodney Moore continue to walk to Charles Murray.
Very, very distracting for these two world-class fighters. That is unfortunate. Moore, who worked himself inside in round one. The Natural, Charles Murray, who you heard in his corner, encouraged to get some motion, step outside, get some angles to throw in on Moore.
Success landing that right hand too, and then coming with the left hook behind it to Murray's body.
So difficult for these fighters to put on the blinders and ignore what's going on in the stands, as fisticuffs are broken out across the way and the security trying to break it up. You saw Murray digging that right hand to the body and now throwing that left jab to the head.
Charles Murray just getting into the flow of this fight. He's such a beautiful fighter to watch, Sam. It's hard not to say enough about him. He took the nickname Natural, and he really seems it. He's such a fluid fighter. He seems so relaxed in there.
Sent a punch that was very close to being low. Referee Frank Cappuccino trying to watch it as close as he can. Meanwhile, it is an absolute melee going across the way as they're battling all in the stands, and the fighters in the ring are trying to keep their focus. Moore over the top and then to the body himself. Uppercut by the Natural. The cheer you hear in the background is that finally they've been able to separate the combatants across the way. And now most of the people are able to concentrate on what they came here in the first place for, the world title fight.
Rodney Moore continuing to work the body. And Charles Murray trying to set some things up off his jab there. Nice uppercut to the body.
Boxing that was. Two guys fighting for a world title in the center of the ring, and most of the attention was focused on spectators fighting outside the ring, but somehow they managed to keep their attention together, and another round pretty much similar to round number one, as both fighters I thought fought very well, particularly through all of that problem. Let's listen in.
Just like you are. Why here, baby?
Not worry about the outside.
When you start your shot downstairs, finish up over the top. Don't pull straight back. Keep your chin down, okay?
That's Tommy Brooks talking first to the natural and across the way. Fred Jenkins to Rodney Moore. Fred Cappuccino, the referee, leaned in and said, stop worrying about what's going on outside. It's easier said than done. This is round 3 of a scheduled 12-round junior welterweight championship fight. Rockin' Rodney Moore in the red, in the white, Charles the Natural Murray. You can hear the chants coming up from both sides. Right now they're for Charlie Murray, excuse me, the Natural out of Rochester, New York. Rockin' Rodney will have his day in the sun here at the Castle before the day is over from his fans as well.
He continues to try to chop at Charles Murray's body, and he paid for it there as Murray got off a good left hook on Rodney Moore. Tommy Brooks, so excited about working with Charles Murray, told me this morning how he was finishing the fighter off, giving him advice on the tricks of a pro fighter, how to hit a guy on the elbows, how to work on the inside. A few of the tactics that a young superstar amateur like Murray didn't have a chance to learn in the amateur ranks.
You see Moore fading with that right hand. The Natural just kind of bobbing, weaving, just exactly the way we set it up for you at the top of the show.
Good left hook underneath by Rockin' Rodney Moore there.
See him digging that left hand to the body again against the Natural. Excellent slipping of the punches by Murray. Again, watch for that 3-inch advantage in reach by Murray to be one of the keys in this fight. 76 inch to 73. I know it's a matter of inches, but it is key in keeping Moore from getting inside on him.
Absolutely right, Sam. Rodney Moore is also a tall, angular fighter. He's used to having a reach advantage on a lot of the guys he fights. So this is something that he's not used to in this fight with the Natural Murray.
You could almost take rounds 1 and 2, carbon copy them, and run them out in round 3. Neither fighter has changed from their game plan so far. This is going to be one of those fights where one punch will suddenly change the other tempo of the fighter, and then it could be a different situation. But right now, status quo as they pound away at each other in the 3rd round.
Good exchange of punches by both fighters here, Sam. They're both getting off, but I honestly feel like Murray should be boxing a little bit more and not laying in there with Rodney Moore. That's Moore's fight. I know the Natural wants to get his respect here early, but he might should stick to his own game plan a little bit more.
Well, both fighters have to go back to their corner with a pretty good smile on their face because they both took some shots but also stayed on game plan. Moore tried to stay inside at the urging of Fred Jenkins, and the Natural, at the encouragement of Tommy Brooks, of staying outside. Is a great look at the crowd pulling for the Natural. As both fighters, let's see if we can pick up maybe just a slight change. You see the jab of the Natural here.
Good work to the body by Rodney Moore.
You You see both fighters just really kind of looking for some openings, but still doing what brought them here. That, of course, is that good reach, body, head shots, jabbing by the natural, and inside work by Rockin' Rodney Moore, who looks very intent to get ready to start another round. Well, all of the distractions outside of the ring have now been cleared up, and now we can full concentrate on what's inside the ropes as we are entering round number 4. Scheduled for 12 for this IBF Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. Vacated by Pernell Whitaker when he stepped up to beat Buddy McGirt for the 147-pound championship. And now the number 2 and number 3 contenders, Murray being number 2, fighting for the vacant title. Not too much surprising Bob Spagnola, as we've seen, is exactly what they've done early on. They're doing more of in the 4th round.
Well, as I said, Sam, I think that this kind of stand right in front of you, fight each other style of fight really favors Rockin' Rodney Moore here. Charles Murray usually throws over 100 punches around. He hasn't been anywhere near on that pace so far. He's sitting in here feigning, although he's landed some excellent shots of his own, both upstairs and down. I think he'd be better off boxing from the outside with Moore, like he's trying to do here, than laying in with him.
So being more selective and picking your quality punches is what Murray maybe is forced into doing a little more with Moore than he has in the past, but the strategy is working pretty good on both sides. Well, Bob, you'd almost have to look at this fight as being very even here in the 4th round as they exchange again in the center of the ring.
Good combination landed by Rodney Moore, and a great double body shot answered back by the natural Murray. They're really letting it all hang out here.
And the crowd loves it. So with Charles Murray's fans cheering in the background at one time, and now Rodney Moore's fans with a chant trying to get their man cooking here. Charles Murray in the 4th.
Charles Murray might have come out here and decided he's going to beat Rodney Moore at his own game in the first few rounds and then settle back from there. He's walking right to Moore. He's not boxing him. And he hurts him with a right hand. His best punch of the night. And another right hand after that.
Big right hand over the top, thrown by Murray. Rodney Moore back in the corner, tries to fight his way out. Another right-left combination by the natural. Moore ducking, leaning that head in, keeping those gloves right up about his head to make sure that Murray doesn't slip something in on him. Closing moments of the 4th round, the crowd just starting to get pumped up and into the fight in Atlantic City. You talk about New York and Pennsylvania, 2 neighboring states. You talk about Philadelphia and probably New York City, but in this case, Rochester, New York, and the triple threat camp, and they have done a great job of cultivating some great fans here, and they have all come with a full set of lungs today as they are cheering on. Moore, Fred Jenkins talking their strategy in one corner. To be reasonably content there. On the other side, the Murray. And his camp headed up by Tommy Brooks. Murray again got Moore in trouble, and the right hand, Bob, seemed to be a big weapon.
That's right. This is where Charles Murray lands his best punch of the fight. Right hand right there to the temple of Rockin' Rodney Moore.
So as Rodney Moore gets ready to answer the bell, we move into round number 5. Digging shots to the body on Murray. Murray in the white out of Rochester, New York. A youngster at 24. Moore at 28. Moore, called the blue-collar worker of this division. Flashy, flamboyant, some of the many names of the natural Charles Murray. Right now, excellent would be the way to describe their work so far through the early rounds.
But this is where Charles Murray wants to fight this fight. Out at the end of his jab, out there boxing. He doesn't need to lay in there with Rodney Moore. He needs to box from the outside, pick his shot, get busy. He doesn't want to lay in there with the stronger fighter, Rodney Moore. I know he wanted to establish himself early in this fight, Sam, and let Rodney Moore know that he couldn't just walk in, but that time has passed. You can see that Charles "The Natural" Murray is standing on the outside now, picking his shots, and then getting out of there.
It will be interesting to see when we do get to the scorecards, if we do indeed get that far through 12 rounds, of which fighter that the judges like. Do they like the very active Murray, or do they like the workmanlike of Moore? Of course, it'll depend on the number of punches. If that were the case in a normal fight, Murray would win hands down. But Moore is doing what he needs to do and stays busy inside.
Oh, beautiful body shot by Charles Murray. He got Rodney Moore turning one way and came back and dug a nice hook to the body. He's got such an assortment of punches here, the Natural Murray does.
A right hook caught well below the belt line on the right hip, thrown by the Natural Murray.
Good uppercut by Rockin' Rodney Moore there as Murray stood in front of him for a minute. But Murray's boxing more and using his legs in this round, Sam, and that style seems to work for him a lot more.
Moore, he throws a couple uppercuts, pretty good punches, and Murray comes right back with one of his own.
You can see Charles Murray using the shoulder. Like Tommy Brooks told me, he said, I taught this kid some stuff on the inside. You got to watch him in this fight tonight. He's parrying. He looks like a real professional out there.
A right hand by Murray again. Murray, who won 65 of his 70 amateur fights, including an ABF United States Championship back when he was an amateur in '87. Is fighting for a world championship against Rockin' Rodney Moore. What a brilliant scenario of contrasting styles as they finish the 5th round. Rodney Moore, Charles Murray, and the crowd, and you, on the Senator Kushner Sports Network with our World Championship Boxing this afternoon. Oh, what a day we have seen. Tommy Brooks, he's going to be very active over there. As Murray again, as Bob alluded to, boxing on the outside, starting to be a little bit more active in that last round. Oh, nice body shots, Bob.
Yeah, that nice hook to the body landed by Natural from the outside. And here he's sitting here fainting. Lands a right hand over the top that Rodney rolled some of it.
By the way, we've made so much conversation about this fight today that there's some other boxing news we'll be sharing with you before the day is all over, but it's almost difficult to get away from this fight because it is so good.
As advertised here, Sam.
As advertised, round 6 is underway of a scheduled 12-rounder. In the red, Rodney Moore, in the white, Charles Murray. For the vacant IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. Fidel Whitaker vacating the title to step up to 147, beating Buddy McGirt for a title. And now, of course, is en route for a September 13th meeting with Julio Cesar Chavez in San Antonio, Texas, and the newly opened Alamo Dome. They're anticipating they can get 52,000 people in there for boxing, and it could be one of the biggest boxing shows ever. So far, Murray has come right out in this round and picked right up where he left off.
Murray seems to have gotten in his flow in this fight, and here comes Rodney Moore trying to reestablish himself with some pressure.
Just when you think that Charles Murray has the upper hand, Moore comes back with a combination of his own. Then Murray goes right back to work, leaning in, stepping out, using that reach advantage, and throwing some wicked left-right hook and combinations.
Rodney Moore is fighting a good defensive fight, too, here. He's not made himself a very easy target for Charles Murray, who's generally a very accurate puncher.
Cedric Kushner Sports Network bringing you our World Championship Boxing Series from Trump Castle in Atlantic City. Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnola. Murray against Moore as M&M hook it up today for the world title. And they have not disappointed too many in this sellout arena today.
Well, they've settled into a nice tactical fight here. Both fighters getting their shots in. Big right hand landed by Moore. And the natural Murray fires back with a three-punch combination, Sam.
It's almost like a wake-up call when Moore gets a shot in. The natural says, okay, and throws a three-shot and then gets out of there.
That's right, and you don't have to be a math major to figure out who won that exchange.
Boy, that left jab that Murray is feeding Moore is just going right up the middle of that defense and just snapping the head of Moore backwards.
And Charles Murray seems totally ambidextrous. He can turn, he'll throw a jab with the right hand, a jab with the left hand, and now you can see him, as advertised from Tommy Brooks, pushing off with his forearm on the inside, using the elbow to get the distance in between him and Moore. Excellent boxing here.
One thing Moore has been able to avoid is getting trapped in the ropes, and you see him working his way out of trouble there. As we will be midway through a 12-round scheduled world championship fight at the conclusion of this one, as Murray and Moore go toe-to-toe. So far, very even fight early on in the fight, but all of a sudden it's been Moore who has given a little ground to Murray, particularly on our cards, and particularly the last 3 rounds here, Bob. The natural has certainly shown brightly and has won all 3 rounds of my card.
Yeah, I've got the natural Murray now pulling ahead, although I had Moore starting the fight strongly and winning 2 of the first 3 rounds. We've got Charles the Natural Murray ahead by 1 point at this time after winning 3 rounds in a row.
Let's take a look at that exchange, and they have been crisp ones so far during this fight. There's that wake-up call, and look what Murray does right behind it. Wow. Not much concern over there. They realize they're taking some punches, but they're also able to deliver some of their own. Sam Smith, Bob Spagnola opening round 7. Moore on the left, Murray on the right. And the crowd has not relaxed from the time they walked into this place. Moore, the journeyman, 28 years of age, comes into the arena with a dream to win a world title after getting opportunity after opportunity. But most of those going by the wayside, just not the right timing. Murray working himself up with a 28-1 record coming out of a brilliant amateur career. Just missing going to the Olympic Games, and now his dream also comes to the end of the rainbow here at the Castle.
Rodney Moore's losing the game of numbers here. He's landing some good hard shots, but Charles is just outgunning him. He's landing 3 and 4 punches to 1 now on Rockin' Rodney Moore.
To show you where these 2 fighters are in their career, back in 1987, Moore lost to Terrence Ali, was TKO'd in the 9th round, while in May of 91, Terrence Ali won a 12-round decision over Murray and captured the USBA title from him as they battle on in the 7th.
Natural Murray turning up the heat on Rodney Moore here. Got him in some trouble on the ropes.
Moore, who did not want to get traps on the ropes, tries to push his way out. Murray using his elbows to keep him in, and the Murray fans are on their feet.
Charles Murray employing a strong uppercut, using it for pay big dividends. The blood from the nose of Rodney Moore is evident of that. Charles Murray's beating Rodney Moore at his own game here, Sam.
You can see
it inside.
All those uppercuts are paying some dividends. As Rodney Moore just trying to gather himself here with a minute to go in the 7th round. Again, unofficially, Murray up on the cards by 1 on Bob and 2 up on my card. And right now, he successfully has won on my card at least another round. And he just muscled Moore against the ropes and continues to pound in the middle of the ring.
Frank Cappuccino looking close at Charles Murray as he settles in, lands his punches, and then works his way out, putting a forearm up against Rodney Moore's gloves. Getting that distance back to where he wants it to be.
Well, when they first thought that only the natural could fight from the outside, all of a sudden a new dimension of his game is being found as he rolls inside and matches punch for punch with Rockin' Rodney Moore at the end of the 7th round. Well, it'd be kind of hard to say that these folks weren't getting their money's worth in Atlantic City. A sellout crowd. They have been sold out for over a week or so. A lot of people talking, as a matter of fact, even about some scalping tickets on the outside to watch this World Championship. And I guess that's what it's all about when you've got something that's featured like this. We're worldwide with our telecast, but people still clamoring to get in the arena, and they have indeed enjoyed a great fight. It has been midway through the last round. You see Murray, and this again where Moore did not want to live, and that's on the ropes. And look how Murray goes to work on it.
Murray dominating on the inside, digging shots to Rodney Moore's body, and then coming up, reaching around to both sides, and then pushing him off with the forearm.
Boy, he really did a lot of work, and that's exactly where he wanted to be based on what this fight has done so far. The strategies ebbing and flowing for these two fighters. Rockin' Rodney Moore in the red wanted to rumble inside. He got there and found a game Charles Murray. And Murray, who had gone outside to punch, is now rolled inside and scores well. And now Moore looks like he's ready to pick up the tempo of his own.
I'm sure they told Rodney Moore in between rounds, said, this guy's right there, right where you want him. If you could have, if you could etch this thing just the way you wanted to do it, you'd have this guy standing there and fighting with you, and that's what he's doing, and he's out fighting you. You got to go out there and let your punches go. And that's what he's trying to do here. He's trying to be the stronger guy on the inside, but Murray's not accommodating him.
With this fight already signed, sealed, and delivered, Rodney Moore on January the 26th got a 10-round decision over Livingstone Bramble, the former WBA lightweight champion. But surprisingly, last April the 8th, only a little over a month ago, Murray, who punches away on Moore, took a fight with Tony Martin and had to win that one the hard way by decision. But Tommy Brooks, his trainer, said we had to iron out some wrinkles, and apparently the wrinkles have put him in a very nicely pressed set of pants today because he's doing everything right.
Well, and it's nice for an athlete and a trainer like Brooks and Murray to be able to do some bonding together, to spend some time in a tough fight. You know, when it's all one way, it's one thing, but when you get in a tough fight, you really got to settle down in that corner, sit down, look that trainer in the eye, and really listen to him. He's really got to help you. It's a team effort, and that's the kind of bonding that the Martin fight gave Murray and Brooks an opportunity to do.
You see the time left in the 8th round. Let me pass out a quick applaudance, if I could, to the security people here at the Trump Castle. They finally got all of that altercation settled down across the way, and we've settled back to the main event here. They did that. Took them a few minutes to do it, but they finally squared it away, and that was very unfortunate for these two fighters to have to live through that.
Both fighters landed good, heavy shots here in this round. Moore seems to try to accommodate Murray a little bit more. I think he was surprised last round by Charles' willingness to stay on the inside and fight with him.
Both fighters starting to breathe through the mouth a little more heavily now. Murray in particular trying to catch a little extra wind because he's really been working hard.
Tremendous pace here, Sam, for these two junior welterweights.
Big right hand over the top and a digging left hand to the body.
Beautiful left hook downstairs to finish it off.
Double jab by Murray and then down low, and then Moore answers it with a combination of his own.
Rodney Moore, this is a close round.
We have been around the world with Cedric Kushner Production, and now with our sports network. And I tell you what, Bob Spagnola, we haven't seen a much better fight than this one tonight in this world title fight in Atlantic City.
Excellent action. Both guys accomplishing some things that they wanted to do. But Charles, the natural Murray, he just seems to be like pulling out and showing us all the difference between him and a very competent Rockin' Rodney Moore right here. He's just pulling out. He's the natural, Sam.
Well, you can see there's actually 3 jabs. I'd call it a double jab, and then dove inside, and just right after that he threw a right hook to the body, and now uppercut back over the top. He's got an arsenal of weapons, and Moore is feeling them all in this fight. There you see him as he's off his stool, ready for another round as we head for number 9. So round 9 is underway, scheduled for 12 junior welterweights battle for the vacant IBF title. Bell, Sweet Pea Whitaker moving up to 147, and these guys ranked number 2 and 3. Terrence Ali was the number 1 contender, but passed up a chance to fight for the vacant title to fight Julio Cesar Chavez, and these guys have jumped at the opportunity.
Now it seems like the natural Murray, after he's established himself on the inside, and Rodney Moore knows he can't just walk to him. Now he's boxing on the outside, picking his punches. He's up working on that 100-punch around pace that he's used to. He's used to setting this kind of a pace. There aren't too many fighters that can go with him like this, Sam.
You can almost look at the scorecard and see where Moore was at the advantage early on, maybe an even round or 2 through 3, but it was mostly Moore, and then all of a sudden it's like a slamming door, and Murray unofficially, last 5 rounds has been dynamite. Moore is trying to gallantly fight back, though, on the inside in the middle of the ring. There you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jabs in a row thrown by Murray. Bobbing, weaving, looking for the openings, even pushing off of the elbows to get some room.
Yeah, I know Tommy Brooks is going to be proud of this effort on Charles Murray, because he really is. He's showing some lessons from the gym that he's learned, on top of the beautiful boxing skills that he's always had.
Punch by Murray, one glided a little bit low, and then he got the other one up right in the middle of the stomach.
Such an accurate puncher.
Yes. Well, a pretty good left hook by Moore a moment ago to the body of Murray. And he tries a combination. See how quick Murray just kind of steps and slips it.
And it's been Murray that's really hurt Rodney Moore to the body in this second half of the fight here. I don't think going into it we would have imagined that Charles the Natural would be the one really hammering those ribs. But that's what he's done here, Sam.
A bleeding nose by Moore continues to bleed away. And Murray helps it by feeding that left jab and then the hooks to the face. We will have a new champion here this afternoon, but whichever young man wears the belt will have earned it. As a very entertaining fight to the delight of the crowd. Murray in the white, very confident, hands at the waist and flipping shots.
He's making Rodney Moore miss with those heavy punches.
Well, Rodney Moore's aggregation hollering for Rodney, and across the way they're hollering Charlie are the natural. Hauling the other way, so both contingents of fans are being heard from as let's quickly head in the Naturals camp here. As you take a look at the Trump Castle in Atlantic City, where the Cedric Kushner Sports Network is bringing you World Championship Boxing Series. And we've got a dandy going for us today for the Junior Welterweight Championship of the IBF. In excess of 2,000 fans, and you saw them setting down for one of the few times on the day. They've mostly been on their feet almost throughout every round.
Let's go. Get your range and pick your
One
shot.
thing about it, Tommy Brooks has been non-stop conversation encouraging his fighter to do what he wanted to do, and now he's asked to get out of the ring, and it's up to Murray and Moore to fight in the 10th.
Charles Murray's in complete control of this fight right now. He can't get careless, but he's 3 points ahead on the scorecard. I've got him at this stage 3 or 4, and he's just got it all his way.
Charles Murray in the white, and the red is Rodney Moore. Murray ranked number 2 by the IBF, number 3 by Moore. They, as a matter of fact, we informed, had an earlier fight scheduled. It was not for the world title, but at one time, and Moore pulled out of the fight. So now he's getting an opportunity, but what a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, much more than just a non-title fight scheduled earlier.
Oh, it's great when 2 fighters at this stage. Big right hand by Charles Murray right on the temple of Rodney Moore.
Neither one of these fighters are really technically known as knockout artists. 16 of the 33 wins by Moore by knockout. 18 at 28, a little better percentage by Murray. But you can see how they normally get their knockouts, and that is simply by throwing a multitude of punches as they have in this fight today, with Murray now starting to really get the top-heavy number.
Yeah, Murray's quickness has taken over in this fight, and he's taken over. His quickness and his power, I should say, because he's also hurting Rodney Moore, working his body, turning him around. The difference in this fight is that Charles the Natural Murray has been able to do the things that Rodney Moore wanted to do, as well as the things that he wanted to do himself. He's really just sitting on the outside right now and pot-shotting Rodney Moore.
The one problem with Rodney Moore as well is not only with the blood coming from his nose, which is something that he's worried about, it does interfere with the breathing. He can't breathe through the nose. He has to breathe strictly through the mouth. And the intake of air and energy is just not there, and that's been one of the problems he's had since about the 5th round. And Murray's not good fighting against Murray, that's for sure.
Murray's in his flow. It's his incredible pace that he sets here on the punches, and when he throws a combination, the first few punches of the combination have less on them than the last ones, and those are the ones that generally land.
You can see how active he gets when he gets inside. Extremely quick, extremely efficient. Charles, yes, the Natural Murray, has put on quite a show, but the big heart of Rockin' Rodney Moore has made this a whale of a fight through 10 rounds.
You look at the perfect balance by the Natural Murray.
The shining chandelier overhead the ring here at the Crystal Ballroom. It's been a sparkling fight. And you can hear the cheer for Murray in the background now. So between Rodney and Murray, they've each had their equal time in this fight today, but maybe not so now, as Murray in the ring is starting to take further advantage.
And he's landing good body shots and turning Rodney Moore as he does it. Rodney doesn't even really want to pull his gloves away from his face.
Now, I got to have you dropping that right hand in behind your stuff now, okay? The guy is dead tired. He's dead, okay? 2 rounds. Yeah, 2 rounds. You know what?
You gotta love strategy as they head for the 11th. The 11th round of this world title fight on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. Rodney Moore in the red, and in the white, Charles Murray. Murray again in quite a fight early on with Moore. Started to peck away in the mid-rounds, and now here late on is showing every bit of being the natural boxer and puncher that he is. But Moore doing his best to stay in the fight.
Charles Murray, complete control of this fight. He just needs to do his thing here. He doesn't have to knock Rodney Moore out, although I promise he'd love to. Put an exclamation point on this and show everybody that he's the real man at 140 pounds. He's the guy that's going to take over where Julio Cesar Chavez and Pernell Whitaker left off. A dominant fighter at the weight.
Both fighters came in identically, 140 pounds. Both fighters are 5'11", but there is that 3-inch reach advantage by Murray, and you can see how he uses it well. boxes outside. Doubles up, triples, even throws 4 and 5 jabs at a time before he throws hooks both left and right. And Bob, I think you hit on a great point. He not only can show you right hand, but he switches so well, so quickly. You're being hit from a direction you didn't even know he could throw a punch from.
Right, this guy hits you from so many directions, you think you're in a crowd.
Terrence Ali, the #1 contender of the IBF, was on the edge of the apron of this ring and said, hey, don't forget I'm #1. And somebody said, sit down, you're not fighting for the title.
He was #1 until Chavez got a hold of him.
Julio Cesar Chavez, undefeated against Sweet Pea Whitaker. Should be a great one, but right now, they'd have to go a long way to get better than this one today.
You know, Sam, very seldom do you see fights that live up to their advanced billing. And this confrontation here, I really feel like it has. Both guys giving 100% at this stage of the fight. Moore a little bit desperate, but he's coming with it. He's coming with it. Trying to make something happen here against the natural Murray. A lot of pride in this ring right now, too, both fighters, regardless of who wins and loses.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens in the 12th and final round, because Moore must be cognizant of the fact he's behind on the cards, will have to pull out all the stops. And Murray, who's very capable of delivering the final punch of this fight, will be waiting for him. And that makes the last 3 minutes a very, very intricate part of this fight today. Closing seconds of round 11. The crowd almost to the point of resting up for the final 3 minutes. Well, while they're rocking and rolling inside on the outside, the Trump Castle, a shining jewel right here on the Atlantic Ocean in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Inside, the Crystal Ball Room has been rocking since we started today on another one of our edition of Cedric Kushner Sports Network World Championship Boxing Series. And we ain't done yet. And again, as Murray, what a great demonstration of how well he boxes.
Counter right hand over the top. Rodney Moore misses the hook and has to pay for it.
Don't go far now. Only 3 minutes left in this one. And it's been a great one, and the crowd will greet him at the start of the round. This is it, the 12th and final round for the World Championship.
Rodney Moore going to come out here and get a little desperate here. But Tommy Brooks already told Charles Murray to accept it. Expect it. He knows that's his only way of winning this fight. You got to get out here and end it all with one punch.
Now, will he try to be a little bit more cautious, try to be a little bit more defensive, or does he continue to fight the way he's fighting? He, of course, has been one of those guys that's been enjoying so much success with his movement. You got to feel he's going to just move and keep away from Moore.
Since the last 3 rounds, when Rodney Moore's really been trying to make something happen, Charles Murray's been able to make him miss because Rodney's really loading up on his punches and he's slowed up. But Charles Murray's in complete control of this fight right now. And he's going to win himself a championship of the world here, Sam.
Moore wildly throwing the big punches. Now you see the movement even more by Charles Murray.
Early in this fight, I said I didn't know if it was a good idea for Charles Murray to lay in there and fight with Rodney Moore, but he obviously knew something that I didn't. He took it away from Moore, beat him in his own game, and then settled back to boxing and putting on a beautiful exhibition here, Sam. He beat him in his own game to do that.
Well, we've had a great crew to give you an up-close and personal look at this fight this afternoon. Dan Shoemaker, our producer, Skip Hill, our director, and all of the other fine folks, our thanks to you for a job well done. It's been a great afternoon for us in Atlantic City. And the crowd is is going to enjoy it to the bitter end. Bitter maybe for Rodney Moore. Jubilation for Charles Murray, who may be just a matter of seconds away from a IBF Junior Welterweight Championship.
Charles Murray here emulating the great Joe Walcott. Right here at the end of this fight, showing Rodney Moore the step aside. Beautiful boxing by Charles the Natural Murray, as advertised, Sam.
So Moore with a game heart, but fighting a man with too many weapons. Comes to the end of the trail. Does he have a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or is it Murray? It appears it's Murray on our unofficial card, but we'll let the judges officially make the decision as we go to the end of the 12th. What a great exhibition of boxing, and what a great show of sportsmanship as the two fighters clinch. The crowd on their feet to applaud every moment of this one as Charles the Natural Murray from Rochester, New York. A good look at him right there. Has fought his heart out against Rockin Rodney Moore out of Philadelphia, and both fighters are applauded here at Trump Castle. Bob Spagnola, it's been a fight that long anticipated, but you know it'll go down as truly one of the better fights they've seen here in Atlantic City for a long time. Great matchup, great effort on the part of both fighters. We had a heck of a fight here, Sam.
World champion! World champion! Rematch.
So Rodney Moore, who has had an opportunity to fight as well, and Charles Murray is both wait for the official decision that's forthcoming from the judges. Charles Murray with the opportunity to win a world championship fight. Well, we remind you that straight ahead we still have more boxing, and coming up, our June fight is going to be down in Houston, Texas. Orlando Gonzalez, the world champion, knocking out Billy Hardy there, will go against Derek Whiteboy. He is from Cape Town, South Africa. They're scheduled for 12 for the IBF Bantamweight Championship, and you'll have an opportunity to watch pound for pound one of the greatest fighters going today in Orlando, Gonzalez. Well, here are the two fighters. It's almost academic as far as many people in this audience are concerned, but that's what makes boxing such a good one here. Is Murray now waving to his fans and the people that have traveled with him with a triple threat. A high five, as a matter of fact, from Murray with Terrence Ali. Here's Ed Darien.
On the Crystal Ballroom here at Trump's Castle Casino Resort in the boxing capital world of Atlantic City, New Jersey. We've got the scoring. And here it goes. Judge John Stewart observed 115-113. Judge John Poteray, he scored it 116-112. And Judge Joe Pasquale, he had it 118-110. For the winner by unanimous decision and a brand new International Boxing Federation Junior Welterweight Champion of the world, Charles the Natural Murray.
Bob Lee Jr. will officially place the belt on the brand new champion who gets a rise to the top, as he's the man that has the opportunity of getting a victory here with this outstanding crowd watching on, and Charles the Natural Murray is the winner. On our cards, 118-111 for Bob Spagnola. I had it 118-113, but nonetheless, the man that gets the victory today. The Cedric Kushner Sports Network.